I've had some low moments in the last couple of years. I've been knocked down and sometimes I felt like staying down. But I've always got back up. You've got to get back up. If you stay down, what's the point? 6 years ago, at the age of 44, I quit my job in banking to start my own company. I'd run my own businesses before in my early 20s. And since being a kid, I loved the idea of creating something for myself. Working for someone else just didn't appeal to me. But then my kids came along and I took the easy option when I was offered a proper job working for a bank. The problem was I never really fitted in. Playing the corporate game just wasn't me. Agreeing with my boss just because he was my boss and sitting in f***ing pointless meetings for hours. I was dying inside. The money was great and I reluctantly started to play the game, albeit by my own rules. I worked out that you needed to create decent relationships with the right people and that could get you a long way. I used to arrive as late in the morning as I could get away with and leave as early as possible. I tried a few side hustles but nothing took off. I'm 50 now and I've been running my dream company for 5 years. The problem is, it's not my dream company anymore. The global pandemic happened. I put on 2 stone and lost half of my business almost overnight. The company survived by borrowing money from the government and hustling like hell. But I was now stuck running a business I no longer loved, with debts that were making it hard for me to pay my bills. And then my dad died. Overweight, grieving, and in another rut, only this time there was no escape. I couldn't walk away from my own business. I tried to sell it and got offers, but they weren't enough. I was stuck. I had to find another solution. I spent hours and hours looking at the business and working out how I could change things to improve it. Slowly but surely, I made some changes. I found a virtual assistant and outsourced as much as I could. I refinanced the government loans and paid off some debts. I went on an extreme no-carb diet, lost a stone, but couldn't get rid of my belly, so I joined a gym for the first time in my life and focused on my nutrition. I lost another 7 pounds. So now my once dream business is as passive as it possibly can be. I spend about 1 to 1.5 days a week on the business, helping my virtual assistant, doing admin and finance, visiting properties and discussing strategy with landlords, partners and suppliers. I remain convinced there's a huge growth opportunity and I'm slowly falling back in love with it again. It feels good. I also spend 2 mornings a week at the gym, and Sunday is all about football with my son. And this leaves a huge amount of time for me to pursue other interests. But here's the thing. I want to become a content creator. I want to create videos that help and inspire others. I want to create videos as a legacy for future generations of my family. But recently I just haven't been able to finish anything I've started. I've got dozens of half-finished videos on stuff like my property business, self-help ideas around getting stuff done, ironic, crypto and so much more. But they never get finished. And now I think I know why. There were 2 main reasons. My content isn't limited to a single niche. And all my research is telling me that that's not the way to build a business on YouTube, that you need to focus on a single audience and create content for them. And I can see that logic, but if this principle is preventing me from creating content, then it's holding me back. And I firmly believe that content over a number of niches is much better than no content at all. I also don't plan well enough. I have so many ideas for content, lists of ideas. Some of these ideas I've fleshed out and some are even fairly lengthy videos, but they remain unfinished. When I started on YouTube, I used to script everything, but I stopped doing that because it just took up too much time, not only to script, but to then shoot. Now the problem with this approach was that I ended up starting to film stuff without any structure, no start, middle and end. So I just lose my way midway through the process and start something else. To a certain degree, that may well be a metaphor for my life. So here are some takeaways. Number 1, don't be too harsh on yourself. Appreciate and celebrate successes. Don't wallow in failure. For me, I've created a business that affords me freedom of choice, which is massively important to me. 2, create content that you want to create. Don't get hung up on being successful on YouTube. Just create content that interests you and hopefully others. Number 3, plan more. But don't get hung up if occasionally you deviate from the plan. That's life. Number 4, don't compare yourself with anyone. You are you. Be cool with that. Number 5, be in control of your own happiness. Don't, under any circumstances, let someone else be your source of happiness. And number 6, be more present in the moment. Spend less time thinking about the future and the past and more time living in the moment. Appreciate the now. That doesn't mean every moment has to be filled with unbridled joy. Life isn't that simple, but start to learn to appreciate the life you have and the moments you experience. And if you can't, then maybe you need to look at mixing things up a little.